Once, long ago, in a distant land, there lived a young couple who dearly wished for a child. Although they loved each other deeply, their home felt incomplete without a little one's laughter. One day, to their great joy, the woman discovered she was expecting a baby. Not long after, she stood by her window and caught sight of the most lush, green garden next door. It was filled with rows of tender lettuce leaves glistening in the sunlight. From the moment she saw them, she could think of nothing else but eating that lettuce. "If I can't have it," she sighed to her husband, "I fear I'll waste away." Days passed, and she grew pale and thin. Her worried husband, unable to bear her suffering, finally said, "My dearest, I will get you that lettuce, but you must know it belongs to the powerful witch who lives beside us. Her garden is walled and no one dares enter." Still, love gave him courage. Late that evening, he climbed over the high stone wall, slipped into the garden, and picked a handful of the freshest leaves. When his wife tasted them, she felt a rush of happiness and her strength began to return. But soon, her craving returned even stronger. The next day, the husband braved the wall again. This time, the witch was waiting. "How dare you trespass in my garden and steal from me?" she thundered. The man trembled. "Please, forgive me. My wife is expecting our child, and she longed for your lettuce. If she cannot eat it, she may fall ill and lose the baby." The witch narrowed her eyes, then spoke coldly. "You may take as much lettuce as you wish. But in exchange, when your child is born, you will give it to me." Terrified, the man agreed. Months later, the couple's baby girl was born. True to her word, the witch arrived and took the child away. She named the girl Rapunzel, after the very lettuce her mother had desired. The witch raised Rapunzel herself, and as the years passed, the girl grew into a beautiful young woman with long, golden hair that shone like sunlight. When Rapunzel turned 16, the witch locked her in a tall tower deep in the forest. This tower had no stairs or door, only a small window at the top. The witch never cut Rapunzel's hair. Whenever she came to visit, she would call from below, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hairits, your mother." Rapunzel would lower her long, braided hair, and the witch would climb up to the window. This continued for years. One day, a prince wandered through the forest on a hunting trip. From afar, he heard the sweetest voice singing a song that seemed to float on the breeze. Enchanted, he followed the sound until he found the tall tower. He looked around for a way inside, but saw nothing, no door, no stairs, nothing at all. Day after day, he returned, hoping to glimpse the singer. Then, one evening, he hid behind the trees and watched as the witch arrived. "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hairits, your mother." He saw the golden braid fall, and the witch climb all the way to the top. The next day, just after sunset, the prince tried it himself. Disguising his voice, he called, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hairits, your mother." To his delight, the braid fell. He climbed up, and when he reached the window, he found himself face to face with the beautiful girl. Startled, Rapunzel said, "You are not my mother. Why are you here?" "I mean you no harm," the prince assured her. "I heard you singing and could not rest until I met the one with such a voice." Something in his words warmed Rapunzel's heart, and her fear faded. From that day on, the prince visited her often. At last, he asked, "Will you marry me?" Overjoyed, Rapunzel agreed. But there was still the problem of escape. Rapunzel came up with an idea. Each time the prince visited, he brought her a length of silk. She began tying them together, piece by piece, until she would have a rope strong enough to climb down. For weeks, the plan went smoothly, until one day Rapunzel made a careless mistake. She said to the witch, "Mother, you climb much slower than the prince." "Prince," the witch's eyes blazed with fury, "you have betrayed me." In her rage, she took a pair of shears and cut off Rapunzel's golden hair. Then, without mercy, she sent the girl far away into a lonely desert. That night, the witch tied the severed braid to the window and waited. When the prince called, she let the hair down. Unaware of the trap, he climbed eagerly only to be met by the witch's cruel smile. She lunged at him. The prince stumbled backward and fell from the tower. He survived the fall, but the thorns below scratched his eyes, leaving him blind.